Hey, what's going on, YouTube Kaijudo Masters? I am Poji Force here. This week is our card of the week video, Saturday. We are covering a darkness card this week. Our card this week is Skull Shatter. Skull Shatter is a rare card from the Rise of the Duel Masters set. 8 mana spell. This is the most expensive spell we have in the game right now. It's text reads that when you play this card, your opponent discards their entire hand. Now, that is an extremely devastating effect to happen at pretty much any stage of the game, because no matter what happens afterward, your opponent is going to be top decking. And it is an incredibly devastating thing to happen to you. At 8 mana, it's extremely expensive to play, so it's naturally something you don't want to draw at the beginning of the game. Some decks run 3 copies of it, so that way if they do draw at the beginning, they can just toss it down in mana and not have to worry about it. They got more to come in later. Some decks only run 1 copy, in hopes of that if it shows up, it's going to show up late, and you're not going to have to worry about dead draws and having to throw it into mana. It's a darkness spell, so naturally you play darkness with this. Some popular cards that run alongside this is Razorkinder Puppet. Usually that's for dealing with if you haven't gotten to that 8 mana yet, Puppet's good for it's a decent sized body. Plus you can use it to spot target certain cards in their hand and get rid of it. Say they've got their own Skull Shatter, and you know they've got more mana than you. You don't want them to drop theirs before you drop yours. You can Razorkinder Puppet, Skull Shatter out of their hand. Now, inversely, they can do the same to you. So, you need to watch out for puppets, but puppets are also a good thing for you to use. Now, Bobby Brake, I believe was his name, on his Saberbolt card of the week, talked about how it's great acceleration to a card like Skull Shatter. And, yeah, sorry about that. Saberbolt, generally, mana acceleration in general, green altogether, is very good with the darkness for the purpose of accelerating to the Skull Shatter. There are plenty of deep creatures in darkness to run that are worth running, and another worthwhile spell, so that way you don't have to run just the Skull Shatter. It's like not an entire nature deck plus 3 Skull Shatter. No, Terra Pit, Bone Blades, the whole Chimera lineup. It's all good. So some versions of Saberbolt run a set of Skull Shatter. You know, Fire, Nature, Dark. Use the Dark for removal. Nature for the mana excel. So that way you got Sabertooth, Boltail for your aggro, and then when you fill up their hand by breaking all their shields, you Skull Shatter and you get rid of their entire hand. So there's really 2 different ways to approach using Skull Shatter. Now, it's really dependent on your deck and your opponent's deck. Are you playing an aggressive deck? If so, you kind of want to play it after, like, you go and you break a whole bunch of shields. Hopefully your opponent can't play out the whole hand. And then next turn you Skull Shatter and you just get rid of all the options that you just gave them. If you're playing a more defensive deck, like I run copy of Skull Shatter in my Blurple deck, my blue-black tempo, that was kind of more for, like, it's like, okay, they've built up a hand, because, you know, I'm playing more reserved with Blurple than I would with Saberbolt. They've built up a hand. I don't want them to have that hand. I Skull Shatter. I've gotten so many good things off of Skull Shatter. I've Skull Shattered Flamespike Tetsurians, Boltails. I've Skull Shattered other Skull Shatters. I've Skull Shattered Terra Pits, Bone Blades. You almost always, unless you're Skull Shattering for 1 card, you almost always seriously benefit from Skull Shatter. And it's always great to have your opponent top decking. Now, naturally, against decks that don't really run a hand, like Mono Fire and Mono Nature, where they're kind of just top decking by turn 5, you know, it's a card better relegated to mana to play more accelerated options like Gloom Hollow, blockers, cheaper removal. You know, it's a good spell. I'm not sure what it's going for right now in the secondary market. I would price it at about 10. It's a good spell. It's a difficult spell to pull. It's a rare. All the good rares are really hard to pull. I would price it at about 10. I don't actually know what it's going for right now on, like, eBay and Amazon and places like that, or ARG. But it's a really good card. Kind of difficult to get, but, you know, it's worth running. I'm trying to obtain more copies of it myself right now. You know, so if you can get yourself a play set, that's a good thing to do. So that's it for our card of the week this week. Skull Shatter, 8 mana spell. Really good spell, very devastating to have played against you. Check out the link below for the article write-up about this card. Social links are below as well. Kudos to the Kaijudo Wiki for the pictures used. That's it for now. Duel on Kaijudo Masters. We will see you later.